Greetings for Author Talk. This is J. Douglas Barker. The book has an intriguing title, How I Survived Physical, Emotional, Verbal, and Mental Abuse. There was another footprint in the sand. And joining me is the author, Star Martin. Star Martin, welcome to the program.
Welcome. Thank you.
Well, I noticed from your accent that you're from Massachusetts, but I think perhaps there's a little more history than just Massachusetts. Have you always lived there, or what is your background?
Originally I'm from Trinidad, a little island called Trinidad.
Beautiful island to be from, but the story that you share in your book of just about 50 pages has some dramatic impact on the reader. Why is the title How I Survive Physical, Emotional, Verbal, and Mental Abuse? What does that represent, Star?
Well, it actually represents my life. I have been faced with abuse all my life, childhood, adulthood. But however, I survived it.
Beautiful.
It didn't kill me. I was able to emerge. I was able to succeed throughout my life as far as, jobs and my talents, my gifts. I did wonderful coming from that background.
Your book on the back of the cover indicates that there is a spiritual ingredient to your journey. You mentioned God as a contributor to the positive attitude you have now currently, and you also have that phrase, there was another footprint in the sand, and I think many of us who have seen something similar in print maybe can relate to that. Is that integral to your story?
Yes, it is. I survived, my childhood, the abuse, the trauma, starvation. I survived, and I believe that I survived because God allowed me to throughout my lifetime, throughout my, childhood, adulthood. God was there all along, because it could have gone another way. I could have, died. But I live to tell this true story.
You made it to the United States as a dwelling place. How long have you lived in the United States itself?
Well, I came here in 1979, so I believe the blizzard of 78 was before, so I came 1979. So it's been a while. I first came to New York, then New Jersey, Texas, and now I'm here in Massachusetts, so it's quite a while.
Well, somebody has to live in Massachusetts. I guess that may as well be you. I don't know. How do you survive the snow coming from Trinidad? How was that reaction? What was your initial reaction to snow and ice?
Yeah, in the beginning, of course, it's beautiful to look at. I know children too love to look and play in the snow. Yeah, it's so beautiful to look at. But when you get older, it's like, no more.
Well, you don't sound that old, so I mean, you must have been a baby at 1979, but we won't go into that. You wrote this book for what reason? Why did you feel inspired or felt that you needed to tell your story? Because it to many could be a very gripping and depressing story.
Yes, but this abuse is something that a lot of people are going through and is going through, and this book is really very informative, and it's going to be a tremendous help to children and adults who are also in an abusive situation. It is vitally needed in our schools, in our hospitals, everywhere where there are people, you find their abusive situations. So it is very helpful and very needed. This book is needed as a great resource, learning resource, and a helpful resource, because somebody will know somebody else who's going through an abusive situation.
Chapter two deals with something I think everyone can relate to. Either as a child growing up, maybe your parents, maybe it was only a one-time event where they said you're not going to make anything of yourself, and it's a self-fulfilling prophecy if we allow those terms and those ingredients to grow in our personality. How did you approach that, breaking self-fulfilling prophecies in chapter 2?
Yes, for some reason, I knew that I wanted something more in life, even though I did start it off life zero, nothing, little education, because of the abuse that I've gone through. It's because of that I wasn't able to do well at school at that time. But I was able to break that. I was able to, and I believe my own strength and in my own self, I knew that there's more to life. And I wanted the best. I wanted something good in life. So it may be something that was embedded in me, but I reached forth to something better. And that's how I was able to emerge and do great things in this life.
You mentioned that your initial education, you felt deprived or not very successful at it, but it shows that you actually graduated from Roxbury College with a degree. Was that journey difficult?
Yes, in a way, because when I started off, I took a light subject with a heavy subject. In other words, English with math, a lighter subject with algebra or whatever. But I was able to pass it, by studying, taking at least 2 weeks. Some people might, take one day and they pass, but I was, a learner. I just constantly reading the material and learning the material, and so I was able to do well in Roxbury. I was able to do well.
Incredible that you are an achiever, obviously, from your life. You have also written and penned other books. You have been involved in the music industry at some point. Why do you feel your creativity has floated to the surface? A lot of us who are creative don't always get recognition or are able to share that gift. How were you able to do so?
I believe from a child. I know we had a little group. My sister and my brother. We used to sing. It's something like Whitney Houston when she had the mic. She had the broom using as a mic. We did the same. I just had that talent within me. I was singing from that young, and also I was doing my artwork young as well. It's just gifts and talents that is in me that I just started doing it. Not at a high rate like I'm doing now, but I started doing those little things, from little.
Did you get some wise counsel from anyone? What was it that put you on a positive path?
Okay, my mom, she was very good advising, her children. I wish I would have listened to everything she had told me to do. And, the church that I had gone to, they also, the pastor, he also advised me well. And then later on in life, here in Massachusetts, the Archbishop Foxworth, he was very instrumental in my life, as far as accomplishing great things. He also had helped me with my self-esteem as well.
What do you advise people when they read your book? What do you think is the moral of your story, other than you share the dark parts of your life? What do you think they'll come away with if they read your book?
I believe that they will be inspired, motivated, because when they see how I started, zero, with nothing, and I was able to overcome those obstacles with strength, and I was able to produce and be successful and write books and do art and do CDs and videos. They will be inspired, and it will give them a sense of hope. It'll give them a sense of hope because they can see that, well, this actually real life. This happened to me. I started off with nothing, and now I emerged, and I did great. Motivated myself, and other people motivated me too.
And you've done so in 50 pages, so it's not a long read. Would you say anybody at any age will find this maybe intriguing and perhaps inspirational in reading your book?
Yeah. I believe, probably a 12-year-old, and up, yeah, they will be inspired, and it will help. They will be a great resource for them. They will take example from what I shared, as far as having great self-esteem, how to forgive others, and all that good stuff. Yeah, they will be inspired. That's for a fact.
Beautiful. The bad stuff is not going to overtake the good stuff. It's primarily a book of inspiration and motivation, all in one little package, or one package. Was it difficult to recall some of those early experiences and share them to the public and make it into a readable form?
No, it wasn't difficult at all. It was just there. The impact was so strong as what I went through as a child, that it was still there in my memory. So I was able to bring it up,
Yes.
So it wasn't difficult at all.
I'm hearing a smile in your voice. That must come from the inside out.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I am, happy for all the things that God has allowed me to accomplish. It's amazing.
It is
it's
amazing.
Really amazing.
It's amazing. Many books that have already been written, are they written under your name, Star Martin, or are they under another name?
Oh, they're under another name.
All right. Well, you have a website that's under development, I think, and I'm not sure under what name it will debut. This book, again, is a short read, only 50 pages, but it, just by the titles of the chapters, shows that it's an inspirational book, even though the title is somewhat startling, the title of which is How I Survived Physical, Emotional, Verbal, and Mental Abuse. There was another footprint in the sand. My author, Star Martin, that's Star with 2 R's, Starr, last name Martin. Star, where do we get copies of your book?
Author House is one. Amazon, www.amazon.com. Barnes & Noble, they also have it.
Excellent.
Yeah.
Again, the author name, Star, Starr, Martin, Martin. The title of the book, again, is How I Survived Physical, Emotional, Verbal, and Mental Abuse. A very inspirational read, a short read of 50 pages, one that should maybe put a little giddy up in your step if you read it and need some inspiration to start your day. Star, thank you for joining me today and sharing your story.
You're welcome.
My pleasure. For Author House and Author Talk, this is Jay Douglas Parker.